there is no one size fit them all. What we do is we go to each of those community where we dimension ourselves and do what we call geomarketing survey.
Okay.
And by the time we do a survey on those community, we come back to the office, reanalyze, and do a solution that is fit to that community.
Very good.
Whether a certain community is skewed this way, you plan it, and there's a lot of engineering into it. Instead of using a very big tower, you might use a very small monopole, use a radio, use what we call omni radio, or you do a directional radio. But what you do is to make sure that this community is covered.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily want to provide connectivity into an area that will be in the bush, except it's an agricultural area. And averagely, this is ranging between $20,000 to $40,000.
Wow.
So one of the things that we put that I need to mention at this stage is that we are completely green. We are eco-friendly.
Okay.
So what we do is making sure that we are on renewable energy.
Okay.
And we do solar. Remember, these are in remote villages.
Yeah.
Accessibility of some cases are very bad. We have cases whereby we have to use horse to transport.
Wow.
In the very deep part of Yobe. And they are going to do 1 hour before they can get to community. I have cases whereby we have to use canoe to carry our equipment more than 2 hours to be able to get to across to the creek of Bayelsa, where they are doing fishing. The same thing across to Cross River. Interesting story. And I have videos. I will show you. I will send you some of these videos to you. African solution, as I say, has to be domesticated. For us to be able to get the Africa we want, we have to create a solution that fits for us. They cannot spoon feed us whosoever.
Hello. Tola.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. And you?
Very well. Can't complain. Just pressure and busy schedule.
Yeah. See, that's very good. See, when we are busy, it's good. It is very, very good. It's only when we don't have work, that everything is bad.
I completely agree with you. This busy schedule yesterday, a whole lot I was on a panel the whole of the day. This morning another program and stuff. But as I say, that's good, eh?
Yeah.
On the other side, nobody likes it.
No.
Nobody likes it. And thank you for the patience. We've been trying to do this.
No,
now
see,
I have to put my phone in airplane mode so that I don't get
no,
it's the only way I can do this interview well.
You're a busy person, and that's
yes,
for me to say thank you for agreeing to reschedule and reschedule, so it's okay.
I should thank you for your patience, my brother.
Yeah. All right.
We are all working towards same vision.
So, exactly.
Yeah, we're all working towards same vision.
Exactly. See, Tola, let's do this. See, start by introducing yourself to my audience. Tell them who you are and what you do.
Okay. Thank you very much. And again, it's a big privilege. My name is Tola Yusuf, and have more than 2 decades of experience, majorly in telecommunication, galvanizing generally, engineering, business, project management. And at the end of the day, to project management role and to be able to disrupt the rural digital innovation across Africa. Startup expert, business strategy, serial entrepreneur, keynote speaker, and recently an ambassador of African Union Agenda 2063.
Wow, that's good.
Thank you very much. I think this summarizes me. Recently, if I may add that, won award 50 most valuable personality in Nigerian digital economy.
Interesting.
And again, 100 leading telecom and digital economy personality in Nigeria. Founding partner of Infratel Africa, a company or an organization that is leading digital disruption in the region. And I think this summarizes me.
Okay. Now, you have been in telecoms for a long time. 2 decades is not easy, you know. So you must have experienced ups and downs, you know. So tell us a little bit about Intel Africa. What is it about?
Okay, thank you very much. Infratel Africa is a brainchild of two rural, two personality in telecom who happens to be an offspring from the rural area, who grew up in the rural area.
Okay.
With myself, Tunji Alabi, my co-partner from Infratel Africa. And then why Infratel Africa? We both have driven 20 years. I have driven 20 years in telecom space. He has done more in telecom and ICT space.
Okay.
However, we find the fact that infrastructure provision is a bit skewed. It's skewed to majorly the urban area, where the MNO, the mobile network operator, can get good return on investment.
Yes.
I was lucky to join Telecom just after I was just graduating from school, and I joined a company called Atlantic West Africa, which is a UK company that started with the like of MTN and Airtel in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
This infrastructure over the time, I've grown with them. I've transited other organizations, Ericsson and other telecom company. But there is this yearning for telecom infrastructure amongst other in the rural area.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to go there. Everybody wants to stay in Lagos and the big city, Abuja. They can have very quickly. They can have very quick return on investment.
Yes.
There's an ITU goal. It used to be called Agenda 2030. That it is called universal provision of telecom services, which majorly says 100% of the world population should be connected, irrespective of your location. And being a brainchild of rural Africa, or rural Nigeria, so to say, I do not believe that anybody should be disadvantaged by virtue of your location.
Okay.
In this digital age, whereby even in Nigeria, ICT is contributing between 12 to 17% of our GDP.
Wow.
If the people in the rural area are excluded, what it shows is about 47.9% that lives in the rural area are excluded. And if you look at the population of Nigeria, we go by the statistic of 200 and something. I know we are more. Then we are saying that more than 100
million people
are excluded.
Yeah.
100 million is more than 3 to 4 countries joined together, depending
in West
on
Africa.
the
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe Ghana, Cameroon, and one other country joined together. So what we are saying is that 3 or 4 countries are totally excluded from connectivity. That means this podcast we're having.
Yeah, they can't see it.
And then we felt that this should not be the situation. And then we took it on ourselves. Yeah. That what we are going to do is to start with research. What can we do differently to begin to provide innovative cost solution to drive rural connectivity and bridge digital divides.
Okay.
And this is where the journey for Infratel began. So we started going for conferences in India, in US, and some of these countries to understand how we can get some of these solutions down. And this started from 2016. So by 2019, we had enough information to be able to test the water. And Infratel Africa was incorporated as a company. Wow. And then we started. We told ourselves at that stage, we are going to be, at this stage, be driven by passion. Because if we want to put money to say we need to quickly make money on this job, I don't think, we know we will not survive the first 1 year. Yeah. We will run it. However, let's drive this thing with passion. So because of this, we started using our own funds when we started with Infratel Africa. And we said we agree within ourselves that we are going to test the water with our own for the first 2-3 years and see how it looks. And then we begin to see how we galvanize grants to follow it. And then before we can now go to investors and say, let's bring money into this, and this is viable. What we are doing is an impact project, it's social impact, but for continuity's sake, we have to build in sustainability. So what we're trying to do first is to make sure that we have innovative solutions that can give value to people, and people are ready to pay for it. And that people in the city are paying for it, or people in the rural are paying for it. And even to some surprise, there's even money in rural. That's what we find out at the end of the day.
Yes, there is.
But then we need to build sustainability into the business. And last year, we did Infratel at 5, 2019 to 2024. And it was a huge success. I would like to share some of the video to you for you to do the report firsthand. And we took one of our CSR to some of our locations in remote area, 6 hours drive from Lagos, to go and see it right on site. And it was quite interesting when you see a population of about 5,000 people that will provide connectivity to. I will share video so that you probably, and I'm giving you the rights now to probably incite this kind of video and let people breathe exactly. And by the time you see the response of the rural people and see kids on the street happy because connectivity, they're dancing, beating drums without wearing slippers.
Tola, see, I was born in a rural area. Okay, I can imagine. See, some years ago, when my father goes to the village, the connectivity was minimal. Okay, right now, for some reason, in the last few years, if he goes to the village, the connectivity is more. So I'm wondering, he doesn't know. He doesn't know which company was involved in making that happen. But see, what I'm saying is this: your work, myself being a son of a village, I understand how impactful it can be. So I'm eager to see the videos and all that. Continue. Yeah.
Okay, so and when we see the video I'm going to share with you, you will understand how. However, I was privileged to be on the panel of NCC USPF even just yesterday by virtue of what we have done to share some of this success story, and it was very big. Yes, a lot has been done, but I tell you, as they used to say, the reward of good work is more work. There is still a lot. There's still a lot to be done. Connectivity today are in different range, and I'm going to start. I'm going to make this so that people know that we are not existing in silo. The world, the ITU has a goal that I call it an ambitious goal, that in 2030, the whole world should be connected. That people should not be connected, should not be disadvantaged in terms of connectivity by virtue of their location.
Yeah.
That was what ICT said by 2030. I said ambitious because I think this is not really possible in the next 5 years. And I'm going to put some sort of background to it. Africa generally is below, our internet and broadband penetration is currently below 50%. It's about 30% according to statistical.com, which is below the world average of about 60.
Yeah.
But what of even US? United States current internet penetration is still about 77 point something percent. So there is still 22 something percent that have not done. So even the United States is not fully covered, amongst other states. So if you do a detailed deep dive into, I don't think there is a country that have 100% coverage.
No.
However, Africa is on the edge side as a continent, because we are even operating below the 60%. I'm bringing down, this is people that top the list are countries like Morocco. Morocco has 91%. Libya has 88%. Seychelles has 87%. And on the bottom line of these, you have South Sudan, and me and you understand, Central African Republic, and Burundi that is at 32%. So this is the general statistic. And bringing it home, Nigeria as a country is within the range cycle 50% on internet connectivity. However, for totally unserved area is about 14%. But those areas that are actually on the site is in the range of about 50%. So if you look at it generally, there is still a lot of ground to cover. Because what we are talking about is the underserved and unserved area. Whether it's underserved. And what do I mean underserved? I'll go a bit technical. There are some locations whereby if 10 or 20 people or 30 people are calling concurrently, the other people cannot make call again.
I mean, the broadband is very narrow.
They can make call again. The radio can take more. We call it channels. The channel cannot take more at that level again. That is classified as underserved.
Okay.
Because you should be able to pick your phone and make call at any time you want to make call, whether it's peak or off peak. That is when you are actually connected. That is the definition according to GSMA. So goal is to be able to get everybody connected. And when we talk about connectivity, you must be able to answer the question of 3 A's. And what is the question of 3 A's? Accessibility, availability, and affordability.
Okay.
So the connectivity must be accessible, it must be available, and it must be affordable.
Okay.
And this is exactly the offering that ITU is saying the world should have access to, so that everybody's potential can be fully harnessed. You know that the economy of the world, or economy of every country, is sitting on digital, whether it's vertical or horizontal. So there is no better time for that aggression to get connectivity to everywhere than now.
Yeah.
I think this summarizes part of it.
See, the work you guys are doing in Infratel is that, well, I don't know if I'm correct, but I would think you guys are one of the first people doing what you're doing. Okay. For if a company who starts something, you guys will suffer. And why you are doing that. But then, thinking about when GSM first came to Nigeria, I think that was 2001.
2001.
Yes.
2000 Obasanjo regime.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
See, my friends, I found out 3 classmates of mine, were hired by MTN. So I used to go to a lot of MTN parties in those days, and the 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 speed of MTN and Econet then, the speed of their their development was very, very fast. It was unbelievable. Now, like just said, we have 47% in the rural areas.
Yes.
Now, but the problem for us is that Africa is very, very large. Okay.
Estimate.
And that's a big issue for us. Okay.
True.
Our continent is vast. Okay.
Very
So
vast.
the connectivity, if we want to use landlines, that's putting infrastructure on the ground, right?
Landmarks, exactly.
Yes, it will cost so much. So
A
I think
lot.
most of the things you guys are doing, satellite connections and all that. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. It's very interesting. Now, in terms of the costs, I'm just wondering how how
Okay.
how tell me about the cost, about the economics
Okay.
of doing what you're doing.
Of what we do. Okay. And I'm gonna be giving you some sort of I'm gonna be making it sit down well. You know, as I said that we said we are gonna do this business. We are gonna do this initiative by starting with our
Passion.
own money
Mm-hmm.
and then prove the business case over time.
Yes.
Because why are people or why are the major MNOs not going to this location? Only one reason. One of the reason is that it does not have good business case. ROI is not good.
Yeah.
And then they are businessmen. Every businessman or investor wants to put their money where they can get quick ROI and good return on investment.
Yeah.
That is the baseline of any business. However, these places are not that viable. That's what the language we call it. They are what we call low Apple. Apple is average revenue per user. That's what
Okay.
So, but what we have done or innovated around this area is to dimension cost-effective solution
Okay.
around how we get these places connected. And what we do again is that there is no one size fit them all. What we do is we go to each of those community where we dimension ourselves and do what we call geomarketing survey.
Okay.
And by the time we do a survey on those community, we come back to the office, reanalyze, and do a solution that is fit to that community.
Very
Whether
good.
a certain community is skewed this way, you plan it, and there's a lot of engineering into it. Instead of using a very big tower, you might use a very small monopole, use a radio, use what we call omni radio, or you do a directional radio. But what you do is to make sure that this community is covered.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily want to provide connectivity into an area that will be in the bush, except it's an agricultural area. You are not providing connectivity for the bird, you are providing for human being. So these are well planned by our RF2, and then you cover the village. And averagely, this is ranging between $20,000 to $40,000.
Wow.
Per
village?
location.
Per village?
Yes,
Wow.
yes. That is the cost of getting connectivity to this village.
So
And we have done so much.
How long does that infrastructure last?
The infrastructure can last. Okay, different component of infrastructure have their own
lifetime. Yes.
So one of the things that we put that I need to mention at this stage is that we are completely green. We are eco-friendly.
Okay.
So what we do is making sure that we are on renewable energy.
Okay.
And we do solar. So there is nothing called generator in whatever we do. So there is no diesel. Because remember, These are in remote villages.
Yeah.
Accessibility of some cases are very bad. We have cases whereby we have to use horse to transport.
Wow.
In the very deep part of Yobe, and they are going to do 1 hour before they can get to community. I have cases whereby we have to use canoe to carry our equipment more than 2 hours to be able to get to across to the creek of Bayelsa, where they are doing fishing. The same thing across to Cross River. Interesting story. And I have videos. I will show you, I will send you some of these videos to you. It's quite interesting. Before we get equipment to those places and get them connected. So this is free life. So getting access to this place are not. So we use renewable energy. So what we want to do is that when we get connectivity to this place, we don't want to necessarily visit again.
Yeah.
Probably
At least not in a short time.
We have there are some of my sites I've not visited in 3 years. Yes. Because all I will do, we have people we call site ambassador, which we empower them locally. We train them quickly.
Yeah.
How to clean solar panel, how to look at the battery, how to look at those major areas whereby issue can come from.
Yeah.
And then the rest, we do it remotely. We can see our site remotely. I can see my power remotely. I can do everything remotely. I can reboot remotely. So I can do every other thing sitting in Lagos in my network operating center. So if I need to just go out, you can just call the site ambassador who is on the site and say, touch this, do this, and everything, and then it's resolved because you don't want to visit.
Very
because
good.
Of visiting, we
so
feel the ROI.
You are giving people on ground employment. That's fantastic.
And I'm still going to dive into how we put the value-added service onto it as Infratel. I'm going to dive into it, what we do. So these are some of the way we provide those connectivity, and we create sense of ownership in the community.
Yeah.
We want to go to any community, we go through the community head, explain what we want to do, get the community to have a buy-in. Have a proud sense of ownership. This does not belong to me, it belongs to you. Connectivity is to you. This is so that you can call Ekene and do video when Ekene is in the UK.
Yeah.
And then there is this psychological ownership to them. And they see that we are the owner. Truly, I can call my son in the US. I can do this. And this is the way we try as much as possible to provide security for the equipment.
Yeah.
So that the one that's looking out for you is no longer out in Lagos.
It's for them.
It's for them, exactly. So this kinds of ownership, they totally buy them in. And then we put those connectivity there. Remember, we latch most of this connectivity on the existing mobile network operator. Today, maybe MTN, Airtel, and others. And this is how we get connectivity to these people. We don't stop at this stage because one of the key social impacts that we say we will offer is to be able to provide employment to youth and women in this area. So we use again to normally, depending on the nomenclature of that community and the feedback from the geomarketing survey, we used to do value-added services on them. Their community will now put e-finance, what we call agency banking. The moment we provide the connectivity and they can make call, there is data, there is everything, we will bring down our digital, we call it DigiHub. It's called Digital Hub. In that Digital Hub, we provide connectivity just like my laptop and yours now, and it will be there. And we can offer a range of services, ranging from health agency banking, telemedicine. You can be talking to a doctor like this. We put stuff, you take all your bios, and it goes into the cloud. And a consultant somewhere in the US, we have partnership with other company, is checking your bios and is giving you first triage and recommending to you, because majorly some of our issue in terms of health is malaria, typhoid, and all those things. So, and it can give you recommendation to the nearest pharmacy, and then we pick your health record as well. So we have this. So we run telemedicine on it. We run e-learning in some environment.
Yeah.
We provide, and then they can learn. They have curriculum based that you can learn from it in those rural communities. And area of service, what of e-government? E-government, you can register and do your BVN, you can do your NIN. You don't need to travel 30, 40
the big city.
kilometers into the city to go and do only this thing, and then you are going back. What of your JAM registration? What of your JAM result? So we take these services to these people and train them to manage themselves. For every
Fantastic.
of this activity of services, we ensure that the employment is domesticated in that location. We
Wow.
train them, we get their graduates, and we get them to learn it and do it and own it.
Wow.
So our job is the technology part, and hence we call ourselves Rural Transformation Company, because the hub of where we place ourselves is in the call of the technology to drive transformation in those rural communities.
Wow. Tola, see, I'm just laughing. I'm just smiling. See,
I understand.
I have 3 teenage daughters. I told my second daughter recently that very soon I will go back to Nigeria. Once, yeah, I told her, and if I go back to Nigeria, I'm not going to go to Lagos. I'll go to my village. Right? I told her. See, if once I can do this in my
If you get
village,
connectivity, it's fine.
okay,
It's fine for you.
I can stay in my paradise. Eh?
Yes, yes,
My bush paradise, right?
yes. Yeah, you
And
both.
do this.
Yes.
And if I want to come and see you, I just go to the road, take the train to Lagos, take the flight.
And then
Um,
from Lagos, you are the other side.
I see you. I'll tell you for the village. I will see you tomorrow. Yeah? And I can go
Yes.
back. I'm here. And then when I'm finished, I say I'm going home. Back, I'm home.
Yeah, you both. Yeah, you
See,
both.
this
Yeah,
is
you both.
I say this, I'm not just saying this just for saying sake, but that's what I wish I can do in the next 10, 15 years. Okay? I really want to go back to my village and live there.
So me and you both. One of the experience in 2016, and I'm sorry I didn't mention this, was I traveled to my village while that urge began to happen. Very like I would say, I went to my village, and then I have a very big compound. You know the way we used to play around with humans. There's land, very big compound, and I literally in that place has almost everything there that will give me comfort, like in my house in Lagos. But then I have mangoes, I have fresh fruit, I have
everything.
I have cashew that you can pluck right from there.
Everything.
Fresh bread. And then I will say I want to stay for 1 week. The moment I stay day one, from day two, the pressure of everything is on me in Lagos. Now. And all I need is connectivity.
Yeah.
Was low and below. The connectivity were not good. They were not good. I cannot make, and it is that same connectivity that will chase me out in less than 72 hours.
Yeah.
I will now be rushing to other Lagos or go to Abuja so that I can get connected. And we say, why? Why must this continue? Why are we disadvantaged by battle of their location? These are some of the reasons for some of these rural urban movement or migration.
Yeah.
And then you get the city so congested. Because literally, post-COVID, I can do anything the moment I have connectivity wherever I am.
Yeah.
So, and this is the urge and the passion fueling it. That this is a very, very laudable, beyond social impact.
Yes.
This can give you money. And then it's going to give social impact. What other thing do you think will give fulfillment in life more than this?
Nothing.
Money you can make, social impact, and you see the life you are affecting, you are happy. In that last trip, if you see kids, you will be happy seeing them. So doing CSR to them and all those things, carrying those things to them, just took me years back when I was exactly in their shoe and we will wait for maybe governor or minister passing by, and those are the experience. And I felt, this is where I'm going to pitch my tent. The first year was a bit rough because then we were declaring negative money. But we know before we start that we are going to start. But by the time we got to year 2, the Universal Service Provision Fund of NCC were quick to highlight us and see us from afar. And we were invited for a bid, and we won the bid, and they started giving us grants. And from that 2021 to date, every year, we have been working together with the NCC, Universal Service Provision Arm, to drive connectivity across Nigeria.
Fantastic.
As I'm telling you, even yesterday, we did industry-based focus on how we can collectively, stakeholders can collectively come together to get connectivity to everywhere. And it was very, very interesting. The minister was there, NCC CEO was there, and a whole lot of other stakeholders. ITU was there, foreign FCDO were there yesterday. So it was something that very, 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 very good. So I think there is a total reawakening for everybody that wherever you are, you might not necessarily need to leave that your local government in Nepal to be rushing to Lagos because you want to come and have an appointment.
Yeah.
You might not necessarily need to run out of your creek of Bayelsa. You can still be doing fishing and be meeting with Ekene in London or any other person in the US and getting your productivity happening. The moment we are able to do this, we will be able to drive much more value into our social and economic growth and then be where the world at large is.
Wow. See, all I've been talking about for the last 10 years is Africa's development. This is a big part of it. Okay. Another
Much.
part that we still need to work on very, very strongly is governance. Okay. So that's a different matter. That's a different matter.
It's a different matter.
But let's focus on this is something that many people don't understand. Economics. Economics drives a lot of things. Okay. Once we can enable people to do small things and make some little money from anywhere.
Exactly. Very good. Small SMEs here and there, multiple of them driving values.
Exactly.
I get you.
Okay. And it's when ordinary people in the rural area or anywhere can have something in their hand to feed themselves. That's when they can now sit back and say, wait a minute, why are those people in the capital city doing what they're doing? Okay, because you can't be focusing on what they are doing until you are able to feed themselves. So what you are doing is
so again, to just top that off in a short while, not that I want to sound like a crack on you, is to tell you one or two of our experience.
Okay.
We provide connectivity somewhere in Bayelsa. It's across the creek of Bayelsa. It's about 2-3 hours on water before you get to that village in Bayelsa. And it's a very big fishing village. And we told them, what's your problem? And they said, we will go fishing, get a lot of fish, and people that comes to buy fish, they come every five days. So we will go fishing and get a lot of fish, but in 5 days, it's gone.
Yeah.
Or you will literally have to dash them out because you can't finish eating them. These people are not going to come until 5 days. Because then to get there is not easy. But we now say, what's the impact of the connectivity we put to you now? He said, you don't know what you did for us. We get it because we cannot define when we will get the fish. We cannot say you might go 3 days free, 5 days, and you will not get anything. But you might get it too. You don't know. He said, but what we have done is at the moment we get the fish now, we
announce it to everybody.
We call them and say, we have fish. So they come from the city to pay us and carry it and go. Before we can communicate to them and say, and only come how that will drive value. Those things that will have wasted, those tomatoes, those fish, you know how aggressive we need them on the other side and ready to pay to be able to drive value. And these are one of the many problems that ravage our agriculture in Nigeria. because Africa generally, during their period, like during the period of yam, you can see yam is being harvested everywhere. It's cheap. But we have storage? No.
No.
No. So we don't have storage system to manage them. So they sell it cheap. Then when that is going, then it becomes very expensive and you barely see them. And even the farmer that cultivate them can't even eat them.
Yeah.
Because you cannot store them. So, and in this concept, we are doing something called e-agri, which we call solar-based cold room, to be able to manage some of these things for them. But I'm just trying to bring to fore some of the dynamics and the impact generally on the economy of what we are doing.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's. I mean, I'm smiling because I can imagine the extent of what you're doing. It might look small today to some people, but in 10 years, boom. But what you guys are doing is fantastic. It is fantastic. Now, I talk about something. I mentioned the government, and I want to go in a little bit in a different direction. In the last 2 months, we have seen the change of government in the US.
Yes.
And the impact of the return of Mr. Donald Trump, the way he addressed or is still addressing some of their own government bureaucracy and their USAID and the impact of that in Africa. I've seen so many people complain about those things. Tell me, what's your view on these things? And I don't know if that affects you in any way. I don't know.
I will give you sometimes pain is necessary to grow in life.
Yes.
That will not.
Sorry. It's not sometimes.
Pain
must. Okay. Unfortunate. Pain. Without pain, no growth.
You can't grow. Exactly. Before we produce gold, we pass through very, very hot fire.
Yes.
So this is my perspective. I'm going to say this. Unfortunately, some people don't like to hear it. Some people don't like to hear it. On this thing, I don't know why I like what Trump is doing. I love it. I love this. I love this one. I'm telling you. See, Africa cannot remain babies forever.
Okay.
At some point, the difference between mothers and fathers in terms of child upbringing is always fine. When a child falls down, mother will carry. If you fall down again, you carry. You go down again, you carry. Sorry, you fell down. For the father, first time he's going to carry you. Second time, he say, "What's the floor before you move?"
Yes.
Third time, if you are from where I come from in Africa, they might beat you to join it and say,
"Why are you falling?"
Exactly. Why are you falling? Always falling. You need to do something. What they are telling you is not that they hurt you. Wake up. The reality of life will hit you. Learn how to take them and still be who you are.
Yeah.
It's a message. And I think that is the message. Aid is not new. Malaysia revealed post-war. Germany received aid.
Yeah.
Malaysia received aid. Some
South
other
Korea,
countries received aid.
Singapore.
Something is common to all these people. After 12 years, after 20 years, they do not only stop taking aid, they start giving aid as well. Africa has been receiving aid for close to 60 years.
Yeah.
And our leaders are going to center stage to still discuss the model of aid they are going to still be continuing to receive.
Okay.
So, in the context of this, I believe we are not waking up to our reality. because of some aid. I know Trump's thoughts, thinking, idea might not be in line with mine, but this is the aspect I'm looking at it from. Guys, wake up. You are no longer baby. Take your responsibility and grind it well and face the future to move forward.
Yep.
It is the time for Africa to say, we have problems, yes. We have solution, and the solution is us.
Thank you.
Take Burkina Faso and what Harare is doing in Burkina Faso. These guys are even landlocked. They have little or no, so you can't even compare them to even Nigeria. But if you look at the short time Traore Ibrahim has worked there and what the guy is turning out now, you will know that we need drastic approach to African problem.
Yeah.
One thing that is necessary or that causes the growth, what of Taiwan? What do they have?
Nothing.
Human being, nothing apart from human being.
Yeah.
Africa must find a way. We are blessed. I don't think there's any continent in the world that is as blessed as we are in terms of human resources.
No.
Maybe India, maybe some part of Asia. But when I talk about Africa, the Asia, China, India, they are making fantastic use of it, and today they are dominating everywhere. Africa, all they do to us is that they open door, they watch what their problem. Oh, as at this time, we like this profession. Age is getting skewed. We don't have youth. They will now bring a program, a certain program, and use the program to open door and exodus. All our brain will move to the other side. Yeah. And then they close the door again when they felt that as saturation. And then you cannot come and begin all of that visa regulations and stuff about it. And then I believe it is high time. We have human resource, we turn them out.
Yeah.
In quantum, brilliant brain. I don't think the health sector of US will be what it is without the
without Nigerian and Indian doctors.
Indians, they cannot be where they are. So
even the UK, the same thing.
Okay, so it's the same thing in UK.
Yeah.
So in my own opinion, I give thumbs up to Trump on this initiative.
Okay.
Top 8, let Africa go and introspect and begin to discuss and internalize African problem and look for solution for Africa.
Yeah.
It might take a bit of time, but with this pain, we begin to look inside and find solution to our problem. My brother, the resources, mineral resources, maybe all these things are deposited in this Africa. They come, they take these mineral resources to the other side, process and send up finished goods at a very high price.
Yeah.
Then we say we are looking for dollars. Let's internalize, look at our problem, and solve our problem using Africa. And I can tell you, the situation will begin to change. I know he must have done this by saying the money is going to the wrong hand, there might be corruptions and a whole lot of other issues. But for me, it's a welcome idea. How did it affect me? It affects me. My organization, because of the impact project, we have dotted line to some of this aid. I was at the branch of getting aid as Infratel Africa as a company when it was formed. Because we are doing impact project. We submitted fantastic proposal last year, which I know will give us access to that aid, $300,000. But of course, with the announcement of this, that's there. But we are not worried. We are not worried at all. We are going to innovate solutions and still do what we want to do within. Our company is Infratel Africa. It's not Infratel Europe. It is Africa.
Yeah.
The goal is to face Africa. We have hub in Dubai, but the hub is facing Nigeria. We have hub in America. It's facing Nigeria. It's innovation to face, it's facing African problem. Because until Africans begin to dimension their solution according to African problem, we will never get the result.
See, you are 100% correct. About 6 years ago, I made a video about for young Africans to start businesses rather than NGOs. Okay, because I was coaching young Africans, and many of them were coming to me, oh, that they want to start NGO. I mean, there's nothing wrong about starting NGOs, but the problems they want their NGOs to solve are problems that businesses should be solving. And in particularly because the NGOs need money to run. Okay,
Very good.
you can get
True.
maybe they'll give you the first chunk of money, but then you go back again to beg them for more, and go back again
How
to beg.
do you create sustainability?
But on the other hand, if you start a business and you get that kind of money to start it, and if you run it well, maybe the next year you will need to go back to somebody to give you money again. Use the proceeds of that business to fund the next step.
Understand.
You know? And
100%.
see, a lot of young Africans do not understand it. They think all they need to do is to beg somebody for money. Begging people for money is not sustainable.
Okay. It's not sustainable. It's not a sustainable model. No.
Yeah. So
agree completely. Agreed with you completely on this.
Yeah.
So this my thought. This is the summary of my thought on this. It's going to cause us some tentative pain.
Yeah.
But I think the pain is necessary, as we put.
It's
good.
very, 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 very necessary.
It's necessary.
You know, yeah.
So thanks to Trump. Thank you to Trump.
Yes, and on the other side is that some of this aid come with shackle that you must do this.
Oh,
you must do that. You must do this.
Is it on the other side or always?
Okay.
I will tell you. I'll tell you some of my experience with some of this aid. I'm sorry, but these are my experience. This aid is classified for you, some of them, and then you must award the contract of, if it is consulting, to the donor.
Exactly.
The donor.
Okay.
Or this aid is provided for you, all the equipment and even
must
the
come from there.
From the donor. So it looks like a recycling. And then boom, the guys that are in the subject will continually be in demand because they are still being deprived economically. I don't see the empowerment in some of those aid. African solution, as I say, has to be domesticated. For us to be able to get the Africa we want, we have to create a solution that fits for us. They cannot spoon feed us whosoever. And I'm sorry to use this word. The Western world understands us very well. They understand us very well. And I think there's some strategy to ensure that they keep this demand in this way. I don't know.
Tola, the issue is this. I love history. I read a lot of history. My father studied history. He used to be a history teacher. So if you go to my house, most of the books I have there are history books. See,
excellent.
This is how society has always run. Okay, the big dogs do this all the time. So there is nothing that the West or China is doing that is new.
Exactly.
They are doing the same thing that whoever was the big dog did to them. Okay.
Yeah, did to them as at that time too.
Yes. Exactly. So it's always the same thing. But see,
so
for us, we have gotten into this victim mentality that we cry so much that what they're doing to us is new. No,
it's not new, really. I think I agree.
See, and until we understand that is the same way things have always gone. So we need to sit back and say, okay, this is what they're doing to us. Okay, let us find a way to circumvent some of the things they're doing to us. Instead of crying up, see, you cry to who? You are crying to the person who is doing it.
So nobody, and you are still taking, and then they are doing it, and you still confused, and you do nothing about it.
See, so when I talk on LinkedIn, for example, people think I'm on the side of the West of China. No, I'm only saying to us, stop crying. the person
Do
you are
something
crying,
about it.
the person you are crying to, they're not going to help you.
It's not going to help you.
Have you ever seen a bully in secondary school? Because you're crying, because you're crying,
if
they
you
will stop
cry, he's laughing
bullying
when
you.
you are crying. He's laughing when you are crying. He's happy you are crying. In fact, the goal from the one is for you to cry. They'll bully you more.
So that's the point. So stop crying. See it. Okay. How can I circumvent the impact of what they're doing? That's it. And in time, you get stronger, and very soon they stop bullying you because they know you're strong.
Yes.
Okay. As long as you are crying, you remain weak, and they continue bullying you. So that's the case. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on. So, Tola, see, I like to read. I love reading. Okay, and the things you have talked about, Infratel. Sorry, yeah. See, I'm sure you have done a lot of reading yourself. Okay, because you can't do all these things you're doing without educating yourself, right? So I want you to recommend 5 books to my audience. 5.
I know as you said it's gonna come. So, and for me, even in my office, I'm currently in the office at home, I have them littered
everywhere.
So everything I everywhere I am, I put it around. So every opportunity, I quickly read and get something. Because the truth of the matter is that you are exactly what you consume.
Yes.
So if you consume nothing, you remain empty. Whatever you consume
shapes who you are.
What am I? So what I was saying, let me just quickly recap. What I was saying is that you are what you consume. If you eat nothing, nothing will be in you.
Yeah.
Then if you read, those things you read will be in you. So everywhere around me, I have different books according to how it appeals to me.
Okay.
But mostly, I am a researcher. So most of the time, I like to go around with books. So when you mentioned, I have few ones that are on my table. I have about 7, but I'll pick the top 5 that I actually want to and recommend them. So I have them even not just I have them physically here because they are still in line. I've not. So the first one is The Way of the Wolf.
Nice.
It's something you read before?
Yeah.
Okay. The Way of the Wolf. So this is all about persuasion and influence.
Yep.
If you do what I do, you will know that this is very important.
Yes.
So that I can send my message across.
Yeah.
So first one, I will advise them to read.
Way of Wolf. Yeah.
The second one is why anytime I look at myself, I make sure that I wake up with something, which is I've not read, I just bought, but I want to read. Is Find the Why.
Ooh, okay. Yep.
Is this something you've read before too?
Oh yeah, I've read it twice already. Yeah.
Wow.
Simon.
So Find the Why by Simon Sinek.
Yeah.
You want to know why you are doing anything.
What? Yeah. Your purpose. Why are you doing something?
Something is not going right. Why again? So there are why in many things. And for something going right, why?
Why?
For something not going right, why? So this is number 2. Number 3 is a Harvard Business Review.
Okay.
It's a Harvard Business Review book. So
let me see.
Keeping the best people.
Okay. Yeah.
Finding and keeping the best people.
Yeah.
Nobody in life does it alone.
No.
If you are going to be anything that amounts to something in life, then you must have people that will help you achieve those visions.
Exactly.
Who are paramount in whatever you are able to achieve.
Yes.
Hence, I think this book is going to be able to do a lot
Yeah.
for people. And the next one, I hope, I don't know if you have read it as well.
It doesn't matter. It's my audience.
This is typical to us here.
How to sell to Nigerians. Wow.
This is
Okay.
typical to us.
Okay.
Knowing fully
How to
well.
sell to Nigerians. Let me see. Akin Alabi.
Yes. You should know
I
him.
Akin Alabi, but it's not him.
In the House of Assembly.
Okay.
The House of Assembly for Akin Alabi.
Okay.
Selling to Nigeria is not what is easy.
No.
You should, most especially when you are going to sell insurance to my Nigeria, my people. You know that this is going to take an arm and a leg.
Yes.
So there is a lot hidden in that book. I will recommend it, most especially if you're in Nigeria or even if you are not.
Yeah.
Because if you can sell to Nigeria, you might be able to sell.
I need to read the book because selling to Nigerians is hard.
It's very hard. It's not something that is easy. Okay. And the third one, the fifth one, sorry. This one I have read, and this one is very important. Is for you to begin to find a way to always grow. The book is 0 to 1.
Yeah. Peter Thiel. Yeah. See,
so you read, eh?
See, I haven't read it. I bought it. It's on my table.
Okay,
yes. I recently started listening to Peter just 2 years ago. Okay. 2 years ago. And the vice president of the US, J.D. Vance, was his mentee. Okay.
Yes.
So right. I've listened to him on several podcasts. See, man, listening to Peter, smart people are. I don't know how to explain them. You see, one thing I would say is this, and I recommend that young Africans need to start listening to podcasts. Okay,
I completely agree with you.
We are below. We are far below.
We are far. It's as if we have not started.
We have not started.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm doing this. Most of my audience still are still in Europe and America. Okay. Africans are not into yet. But just like you, I will continue doing it because
just continue exactly.
Yes, because once you start listening to people who are doing things.
Completely agree.
For us, we only listen to things entertainment. We like entertainment.
I'm probably religion.
Okay, and anything that people fight or cost themselves, we don't listen to people who have ideas, who explain those ideas. Listen to Peter. Wow, this guy is sharp. It's very, very sharp. I don't know how to explain this. You might think he's boring. That's the word.
Yeah?
Yes, that's the word. If you are not interested in understanding things, you might think this guy is boring. But if you settle down, listen to him, and you are curious, oh my God, this guy is sharp. Just like Elon Musk. Okay. If you listen to Elon Musk, the way he talks.
True. You but pick the message. The message is always strong.
Those guys are very, very, very sharp, and we need to start listening. Okay. True. If we hope to make Africa the the continent we say we
The
want to
Africa of our dream.
be,
True.
we need to start listening to those people, okay, and
Agree. Completely agree.
reduce the hours we spend
We
in
consume
entertainment.
on things that are not that relevant
Yes.
and
Okay.
focus on the growth
Yeah.
and where we are going and knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah.
True.
Well,
I completely agree.
thank you very much for that. Thank you very much. So I want you to advise young Africans, even though I've done some of it now, but I want you to give them your wisdom. See, I want them to contribute to their communities. So what's your advice to them?
Okay. I will start again from probably those ones that are still that still need a lot of hope in terms of they believe they are nothing.
Mm.
And I'm going to start from those guys in the rural communities, those ones that probably are in their low ebbs at this moment. That's the first thing in life is for us to believe that you can do anything. Don't be limited by the fact that it's always them because I am a child of nobody. I will never be able to get there. They say this is because it's the son of Tinubu now. I have done research many times and I read as well, just like you. And sometimes I narrow some of those things to our local experience so that we can relate better.
Yeah.
On most cases, hardly can you see any of these people pass their way to their next generation.
Yep.
You die with them. As much as Abiola with his wealth,
Yeah.
then borrowing even nation. I don't think it surpassed him because I cannot see anything but after him. However, the Abiola himself was a child of nobody.
Yes.
So you being a child of nobody or where you are at this low end should not be a barrier to where you are going in terms of growth. That is my number one. You have to be determined. You have to continue doing it until you work.
Yeah.
There's no, what will I call it? There is no one size fits all. There is no, this is the manual. No manual for it.
No.
You keep trying until it works. And then you write your own manual. And those manuals, unfortunately, are typical. The way it works for you might not work for the next person. But the message is keep trying. Don't give up. And then that is to people coming up there. To most of our youth, that probably by virtue of how the country have hit you, all of you have migrated to the diaspora. This message is to you.
Yeah.
Just know that you can never, even if you carry that passport, be from that country.
I agree.
The home is Africa.
Yes.
The real home is Africa.
Yes.
Leave your kids to it. I keep saying it. I am so dark. I like it. And I'm very, very proud of this skin because it doesn't crack.
Yeah. Yeah.
All I need is to make it shine. I don't need too much cosmetics. The guy
That's it.
shine. He does not cry. Be proud of your identity and be proud of who you are.
Yeah.
And what is the message? Whatever you have learned, whatever they have done well in those places you are, let your thinking revolve around how can I help my roots to be able to be like this or more.
Yeah.
Let's build the Africa of our dream.
Amen.
And that is the message. The knowledge you have there, if you are going to learn, please bring this thing back home. Yes, there's complexity, there are these, but we cannot continue to always complain without doing anything about it.
Yep.
Even the Bible says it. The righteous. When you did not talk, when the righteous kept quiet, That's when evil prevail.
Yes.
Evil will prevail when you have to keep quiet. So what we need to do is to begin to bring down this knowledge down home and be part of them. I have studied over time. Where I come from, most of us will finish, boom. The moment you finish, you get a big job. And I'm talking about two major. There's a difference between the northerners in Nigeria and the other part of Nigeria. Other part of Nigeria, maybe Nigeria, Southwest, they are brilliant, very knowledgeable. The moment they finish PAM, the big corporates will take them and they are back to school. The same thing South and all those parts. If an Igbo man didn't go for, if an Igbo man did not go for his business, then he goes for education.
Yeah.
And you know them. But what of the northerners? They are very patient people. They can start from being a cleaner, but you'll be surprised when you see him as a director. And you will get to that director and begin to make policy that you have to follow. He has state power. You have done it. And then he will control you. Let's be patient and begin to participate on how to manage the country. Politics is dirty. We don't want to get involved. We don't want to do that. And then the policy politician make is what control all of us.
Yep.
So come back home. Even if you don't come home, begin to see, iterate, think, introspect. What can we do differently? How can we begin to participate? Let's begin to participate and begin all these Africans that, all these leaders that we know and not do things right. Let's begin to participate. That doing things wrong become difficult. And they will want to do things right. Until we participate, we will only remain as complainants. We will never be able to play in the center stage. And that is what I think we are today. Some of them will come. I have a neighbor, post-COVID 2021, he came from UK. He was in Nigeria for about 2-3 years. But when we think we're getting tightened, pack his back, carry the family, and again, no, Tola, I can't take this thing. No, I cannot take this thing again. Because of this, because of that. I say, I understand your plight. The life of us will have run away since. But then we decided that we will ruffle the tumble. But what I want to encourage, it's never easy. It's not that it's easy, but they need to get involved. When you come home, that's one of it. Number two, always make sure that your kids knows their roots.
Yeah.
If this thing doesn't happen in our generation, in that generation, let them know that this is you, this is where you are from. And your contribution of your own quota in your lifetime should go here. Whether we like it or not, the impact of Obama on Kenya was felt. Because he knew this is where I'm from. Tracked it, this is where I'm from. And the fact that leader was able to canonize a lot towards that side. So let's tell them that Nigeria, everything is there. And I'll tell you my quick story. I was in US in October.
When we're supposed to have the first conversation.
Exactly.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And there was a colleague, it was an old student, the colleague. We were classmates then in school that have left for the US since 13 years ago. And then I decided I was in Vegas, and I said, you should come and see me. So he flew all the way from Texas to come and see me in Vegas. And we were together. And what was his question? He said, Chairman, I have been waiting so that you come, so that I can know the truth. Is that a professor in the US? So I can know the truth. Every time I hear news in Nigeria, it's a bad one. Don't go to that Nigeria. Don't do this thing. I am 13 years here. I felt I've achieved what I want to achieve here. I'm not seeing my impacts in this place any longer. So the urge is in me, but I'm scared of what everybody. I know you will tell me the truth. I say, Femi, this Dr. Femi. I say, Femi, look at me. Am I showing any sign of poverty? He said, no. No, that's what I want to hear from you. I said, yeah, a lot of opportunity.
Yeah.
That was October. Then I begin to unveil those opportunities. I begin to unveil those opportunities to him. We begin to analyze them. Lo and behold, he was home for Christmas. I first of all arranged. Right from there, one of my guys picked him. He was in my house. By the time he saw even only the light here, he's already buying a house now in Abuja. So I need to buy a house. And by his conversation around that time, his company has gotten a job of 200 million now, just in January. His conversation, the people meeting around, just meeting. And he called me again that I'm coming in June. Coming in June now. I'm doing my summer here. That's what he told me now. And he's the one worrying me that he wants to buy a house and live there. He said Nigeria is actually the home. Now, thank you for the way he treats me now is that thank you for coming to open my eye. Because people don't tell me the truth. Because when other people get there, that country, they are doomed. So we need to be watchful of how
what we
say and positively see how we remote. No matter how whatever happened in America, I still God bless America.
Yes.
And there's power in the tongue as well. So let's begin to speak positive of where we come from, Africa. Let's think positive of what we can do to help those the continent as a whole. And we will begin to change the dynamics. I am seeing that with time, the whole story will begin to change. We have the human resources, we have the natural resources. All we need is to put all these things together and begin to change the story of Africa. All together, we can do it. And this is my message to Africa.
Very well. Very well. Thank you for that. Thank you very much for that. My last question. What is your vision for Africa in the next 20, 30 years' time?
Wow. That's quite a long time.
Yes. It's not long ago. It is not long ago.
Before we blink the idea, right? Thank you. I have a lot. I am an ambassador of African Union, the 2063 agenda. And on the back of that, I will just be saying something which are personal to me, and at the same time, what I see African to be. And it is together we cannot do it. Number one, I will be seeing an Africa that will not need passport to go throughout the continent.
Okay.
This is very, very paramount and personal.
Okay.
I think one of our major inhibitors is Africa as a continent designing a system that the bar and a country in Africa to enter another country in Africa and from another continent can enter easily. I think that on its own is a psychological disorder.
Okay.
The first thing I'm envisioning for Africa is the fact that we expect that by that time or before that time we have an Africa that one passport will drive us.
Okay.
That will not be inhibited from going to another African country and then if you don't have a visa, you can't visit. This is not a case of visa on arrival or anything. There should be free movement, border movement within Africa.
Okay.
Because this will be the first step to trade partnership and agreement within the continent. Okay. This is very important. Dangote once says that you need about 40, I think 43 or 40 something visa to be able to visit the other African country.
Yeah.
Why somebody from America or US we need nothing to enter?
Yeah.
That is an improper fraction. That is an improper fraction. So that is my number one.
Okay.
Number two, I am envisioning Africa that we trade within Africa, ensuring that there is none of African country that is at the back end, helping others to grow.
Okay.
told them, the Burundi of this world, even those ones, that we can support ourselves and take ourselves out of that one. Africa, supporting Africa and trading in Africa.
Yes.
And this is born out of some of my experience. I just came back from Mobile World Congress, and I met one of the government official in the telecom of Burundi. And he called me and we were discussing, and he said, penetration in Burundi is just 32%. What can you do? And then I thought, okay. And one of that colleague, who is actually from Congo DRC, came and said, Dr. Tola, you can't do anything about their matter. I said, why? He said, they do not have dollars to do transaction. Everything they do is that a dollar now is about 3,000. He said it's about 3,000 in the direct markets. And about 8,000 in the that you will not get done. I want to see an Africa that does not need any other currency apart from African currency to do business in Africa.
Okay.
I believe that will happen as well.
Okay.
And the third and the last one will be, by that time, I am expecting that Africa will have galvanized their resources as a continent that we robustly compete, if not more, with North America and some of the best in Asia. This is possible because we are the anchor and the brain of the world.
Okay. Tola, I agree with you on all these things. But one thing is this: we need to work on it. Okay. See, that's the number one thing. We need see to achieve any of these things. We need to work on it, and that starts with for us to first ask ourselves, why are we in this space? Okay, and one thing I've discovered, okay, in so many things surrounding all these things is that most of us are not willing to honestly dissect the issues. Okay, see, yes, we don't want to always talk anything negative about us, but for us to find solutions, we need to be honest about the issues.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
If it's something negative, we need to admit it. Okay.
That is negative. You have to hold about being open to feel
okay. So that you cannot say, okay, how can we solve it? If we don't address the cause, admit the failures, we can never solve those problems.
We cannot move forward.
Okay, so we agree.
Yes,
so see, all these things you just talk about are things we can achieve, and I want us to achieve them. So Tola Oshegon,
thank you
very much.
This is quite a whole lot of expository. Having to dig deep into it and bring it out, and I should commend you for being on the front burner to send this message out to the world.
Yeah.
As to say, if we don't tell our story, who's going to tell the story?
Nobody.
No.
Yeah.
We are to continually tell our story and do something about our story in the positive. China, good reference. India, when the Chinese man, when they started small, there's no country of this world they did not invade with different strategy.
Yeah.
They invaded everywhere. Because they know, what do we do with billions of population if we don't find something different to do about it? The story today is not just different. The story is that they are threat to the world power, and they are not scared. They are threat to world power, and they are saying we are the world power. They are not scared. And by the time you see, or everybody is seeing what exactly they are doing, even the world power is scared. Because they are far ahead. I have been to China. Is it technology? They are far ahead of everybody. Before you get to know, they are miles ahead. If the United States develop something today, be ready. Give them maximum 6 months. They'll come with their own.
They'll catch up. Yeah.
And in time it's not
because
taking
they have built the foundation.
They have built the foundation, they have built the structure, they have become the world factory today. If you want to do anything, it's going to be while you want the answer to come out and be cheap and be right, you go to China.
Yeah.
These are deliberate and intentional actions.
Yeah.
It doesn't just fall on their laps. What of the Indian? They decided to narrow down to ICT. And their world supply of ICT today. So we Africans have to be intentional about what we want to do and what we want to be known for. I do not believe that we are deficient here.
No, we're not.
We have here. But we have to be intentional and set unified goals and begin to take actionable plan to be able to get to where we are going. And that's why I agree with you. Not say bad about your country does not mean don't say what the truth represents today. Saying what the truth represents today is giving us a foundation of where we start from, documented.
Yeah.
Of this is where we are, this is where we are. And the intention is to be able to yearly measure our growth, walking away from the bad to the good.
Yeah.
And working towards those excellent, actionable actions. And that is what the thinking is. We will not run away from the fact that corruption is endemic. But corruption is elsewhere as well. It's not just
everywhere. It's everywhere.
It's not just at the same, it's the degree of. We will
exactly.
Not. Yeah, exactly. So we will not be bad that we have bad leadership. Yes, in most other countries, there as well. But the other part and the citizen, we hold you accountable. And then sometimes they do anything to them. Some there are ways like in Singapore and some of this country. You know, if you do this, you know the consequence after. What of China? You know they are likely going to hang you. There's no two way about it. Where law, governance work. These are some of the institutions that Africa as a continent should intentionally begin to build.
Yeah.
Human being, take eye away from them. They will not do what is right. Or most cases. Not all, but good percentage.
Most cases. If there's no accountability, most of us will do the wrong thing.
they will do what is wrong. And this does not mean Africa. It's human beings.
Human beings. Human beings.
Exactly. If it is this book, you keep this book here, it will be here forever. Human being, the moment he knows your intention, he walk against and then he's walking to your answer already.
Yeah.
You know, so it is everywhere. But the moment we are able to build institutions that work, it will shape everybody to do the right thing because we know there is a consequence for whatever you do wrong.
Exactly.
Then we begin to take actionable steps to move. And from here, God will begin to raise leaders that have that mind to begin to drive them accordingly. Because these leaders are not from heaven, or they are not from hell, or they are from us, within us.
Part of us.
Part of us.
Yeah.
So the truth of the matter is that is the way Africa begins to first of all think and build those institutions that work, and people see their consequence for action. And then we begin to shape it, and we will be moving positively. And this dovetails to all those things. If we can do it right, those aid will not be needed. Will we be giving aid to some of these countries country? And then the dynamic will have changed. And that is the African me I want to see this 2020 to 2030.
Thank you very much, Tola. So thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you.
Wow.